In this podcast, I'm going to be talking about Carrie Chapman Catt. Carrie was born to her loving parents January 9th, 1859 in Ripon, Wisconsin. Carrie's parents were Lucius and her mother Mary Clinton Lane. They were farmers in Potsdam State. Her two other siblings were William Harrison Lane and Charles Herbert Lane. The next year, the family moved to a different house that was on a farm, which was near Charles City, Iowa. She also went to college at Iowa State Agriculture, now known as Iowa State University. She was the only female in her class to graduate in 1880. She became a teacher, but after a while she became a superintendent of schools, where she worked in Mason City, Iowa, according to Carrie Chapman Catt National Women's Museum. Carrie got interested in the movement in her teen years when she realized how women didn't have the same rights as men. A great example of this is when she was a teenager. She saw that her mom didn't have the same voting rights as her father had. Carrie got involved in the movement in the late 1880s. She joined the NAWSA, which stands for National American Women's Suffrage Association. Carrie was really good at making speeches. Carrie would give these speeches nationwide. She was elected NAWSA president in 1900. In the seat before her was Susan B. Anthony. In 1904, Carrie decided to retire for a while so she could take care of her dying husband, George Catt. He ended up dying the next year. Carrie resumed being the NAWSA president from 1915 through 1920, according to Carrie Chapman Catt National Women's Museum. Carrie had two husbands. Leo Chapman was her first husband, and they were married 1885, and he died 1886 from a fever called typhoid. He was a newspaper editor. George Catt was her second husband. They were married in 1890 and he died in 1905. He was an engineer that was very successful. Carrie had a heart attack on March 9th, 1947 in her home that was in New York, and that's how she had died. And she was 88 years old since she was born January 9th, 1859, according to Carrie Chapman Catt National Women's Museum.